why do we need another game to get us out there, exercising? And does that work?
So here's the thing. Exercise is difficult. Nobody wants to get up and wants to get moving. And oftentimes, they need to be incentivized by, certain things just to get them started. So what we found on Fitocracy is one of the biggest reasons that people download our app is because you can get points, you can go on quests, you can get achievements. And for them, it's really fun and it gets them off the couch. Even more so than that, what you find is this really large, enthusiastic, super engaged and welcoming community behind Fitocracy. And that's really the magic of everything. So people start collecting points, but then they find other people who've lost 100 pounds before, and they can follow them. So there's a huge social network aspect as well.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is that the big part of it, that there's a social network? Because you've got people like Nike who are out there with their own apps.
Sure.
And they've got like 18 million users.
Sure.
You guys have about, what, about 1 million right now?
1.5 million.
I mean, how do you compete against something like a Nike?
So community is really at the center of what we do. The human factor really can't be overestimated in terms of how people can successfully reach a fitness goal. So with Fitocracy, you don't just download the app. When you join Fitocracy, you become a Fitocrat. You really kind of have a profile and an identity, and you're making connections with other people who are on the same sort of journey. Whereas with a lot of the other apps out there, they're kind of a utility. I'm going to use a wristband, I'm going to use an app to track my runs or something like that. But with Fitocracy, you're really getting that human support that can be really hard to find at times.
So do people work out together who are
It's all virtual.
Fitocrats?
It's all virtual. So actually a lot of those folks do end up meeting in person eventually. But it's...
Have you had your first marriage yet?
Actually, speaking of which, I found my fiance on Fitocracy.
Okay, there you go.
Kind of a fun story there, but I don't know if we have time to get into that.
Well, how many people engage, like develop some kind of social relationship as a result? You've got about 1 million users, so how many people are really going into kind of the social media sphere, if you will, as a result of your app?
In the hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands? More than half? Or not that much yet?
We can't disclose those numbers.
So the thing with most people, and exercise is something that is very scary, and a lot of people don't want to do it socially. But on Fitocracy, it's not like a Facebook profile. Everyone is relatively anonymous in that they have a username. And so people who are not willing to really talk to their friends about exercise, because let's be honest, most of us have friends who try to get us not to exercise, they make connections on Fitocracy where suddenly you have this community of people who really like exercise, and suddenly you're no longer shy about expressing your body or expressing the fact that you want to lose weight, because people are anonymous, and it's not like having your next door neighbor watching you.
So Brian, these points that you develop through your workouts and your exercising, can you spend them somehow? Or is that
actually, that's the big secret. It's not a currency you're going to spend on a shop or anything.
You haven't created the Bitcoin of exercise.
Not quite yet. We are working on that.
Bitcoin, if we did.
Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Patented here. You heard it here.
They have the
so is it just for self-satisfaction and sort of competing with others?
It's kind of a fun way to take measure of how well you're doing, right? So I might see that I earned 500 points on my workout, and relative to the other person on Fitocracy, I saw that they did 2,000. You're like, whoa, holy cow, what did they do?
How'd you do that?
Yeah, exactly. So there's this interesting opportunity for discoverability where people can see that, oh, that person's really intense about their workouts. Maybe there's something I can learn about that. So it's kind of this internal currency that drives the interactions there.